So my business is Colchester Children's Counselling. My name's Amanda Hitchin. I'm based in Colchester city centre on North Hill, and I'm a psychotherapist for children and adolescents, and I serve families and children. I also have an adult therapist who now works alongside me, and she sees parents of the children that I support and other adults that need support as well. Recently, I've been running parent support groups also, so trying to branch out and use my business in the best way to reach as many possible people that need me. So my business started very organically. It wasn't really the plan as such. It just progressed, and it has just gone from strength to strength, I would say, really. And because I am so new into psychotherapy and practice, my passion has always been to help those that need it. I didn't, I primarily work with children. My background has been working with children, and my passion is, but I don't put a cap on who I'll support. I've done a lot of work in education, and that showed me that it's never normally just a standalone child. It's such a bigger, a network around that child that also needs support. How did I get here? How did I get here? Yes, good question. So I guess on paper, I was not supposed to be here. I think, my childhood was extremely challenging for lots of different reasons. I struggled massively academically. I came from a very impoverished background. And I had to work really hard for everything that I've got. So I went back into education as an adult, retrained, was inspired by lots of people around me, the work that I did and the things that I saw. And that encouraged me to sort of want to do better and to change my outcomes, my future, and also to sort of become that adult that I maybe needed as a child. So along that journey, I sort of had to go back to college, did a diploma to get into university, then did a foundation degree that I could work around, fit into my schedule, commenced my own personal therapy, which was really transformative, really phenomenal. Is an ongoing process, of course, but really helped me to actually nurture and take care of that younger version of myself, and to say that my future can be different to what it was planned to be or what people would have expected it to be, and to give that back, give that opportunity to others who might not see it in themselves. I don't think I ever planned to work with children, but I think once I started working with children, I knew then that was where I belonged. Probably because I'm a big child at heart. I still love playing, and I hope I never lose that. But yeah, maybe there was, and I do think, in my therapeutic journey, I've discovered so much about myself, and there was obviously a need to re-experience all the joy of childhood, to have those opportunities. But absolutely feed off the enthusiasm and the carefree and loving and nurturing nature that children have. That just really inspires me, to be the best version of myself for them. Yeah, and running a business was never anything I anticipated doing. That's all just happened very naturally. What I wanted to do was create a safe space that could be my base where I can help others from. And that just happens to be now a business, which is my base. But it's also now enabling other people to have that journey as well. So I'm now got other therapists who can also help others. So my reach is kind of wider in terms of helping people in that way. And that motivates me when it's tough. So I really enjoy that. The business is going really well. So in terms of, my hours and everything, that's all, I've got waiting lists, unfortunately. So I guess for me, it would be the ability to be able to reach wider, to be able to reach more impoverished families or families that just can't afford private practice, and to have a bigger hub, a bigger premises where I could get more therapists on board. That would be amazing. So yeah, more time, more money, more space. Nothing big, but so there's lots of child therapists that train. A large percentage of those end up working in schools, for charities, or they prefer to work with teenagers, so the older adolescents. I think from what I'm establishing, I'm a bit of a rare breed in that I'm really passionate about the younger ones. And my background was in early years teaching and with little ones. So I'd say it's quite a lot of work. You're painting, you're playing, you're singing, you're dancing, you're running around the room. You're not just sitting in a chair having a conversation. So it's a very unique practice skill set that you have to use when you work with younger children, which isn't actually as easy. I wouldn't say any of it's easy, but it takes a lot of energy and enthusiasm. There are amazing therapists all around, child therapists and adult therapists. Colchester's got a brilliant therapeutic community. The University of Essex is on our doorstep, and that department, at the university train therapists. So we've also got the Institute, and they train their own different style of therapy, but lots of counsellors and therapists there. So we're very gifted in that sense. But I don't know of any other service that is established that is aimed at younger children currently. I know there are other practitioners that have private practices, but I don't know anyone that's aiming to sort of have a centre or a hub for younger children currently. So in that sense, it felt like there was a gap in the support on offer in Colchester City Centre particularly. Networking looks probably a little bit different in my role, I guess. I loved going to networking events. I was terrified. I remember walking in and absolutely shaking. I still do sometimes. That imposter syndrome, creeps in. I think, well, I'm not actually a business person. I'm just me trying to do the best that I can with my clients. But what it did was allow me to see how other businesses are doing it, how other people are doing it, and I was absolutely blown away. Fortunately, I've been surrounded by lots of really strong business people and seen, what's gone well. But also hearing from those, especially in Ambitious Women in Essex events, having a really honest conversation with those that have had challenges, and to say, oh, it's not just me. There are tough days, there are, complications, and there are things that you have to overcome. So for me, it's been really helpful because I didn't come into a therapist role to be a business person at all. So I've had to learn that whole world really. I've taken part in some free CPD and training through Colby, which is one of our local run business incentives and training services in Colchester. That was really brilliant, really beneficial. And also just to find out other opportunities that are in the area. To get your name out there really and build up your professional reputation. It's been really inspiring. Advice would be to anyone that's sort of thinking about setting up a business or that is on the fence about it or has a brilliant idea, would just be to say, don't let your own self-doubt or the doubts of others that you've kind of internalized or held on to hold you back from something you're really passionate about. I think if you're really passionate about something and you really want it to be a success, you can achieve anything if you work hard enough and you set your mind to it. So just go for it, and be prepared that it will be work. You will have to nurture and take care of your business, but that if you are doing something you love, that shouldn't feel too much like work. I want to give a shout out to Victoria Young, Kirsten Donahue, who runs it. She's phenomenal. We sort of stumbled upon there when they first opened just before lockdown. And she was so welcoming and so friendly. Got chatting to her, finding out her story and how she's ended up in Colchester and running her business. And she's had to come a lot of challenges with lockdown and starting a brand new business in this area. And I just think she just keeps going from strength to strength, and she's a real inspiration. Plus her cakes are phenomenal.